El Dorado, the time has finally come. This is what you have been waiting for.
It is high time that we move past our last episode from way back in May and bring you something so much better.
Today we have sports. Today we have behind the scenes of Butler headliners. Today we have a super cool exclusive interview with the president of the college. Today we have it all.
Well, at least we should have enough to keep you occupied for the next half hour. Keep it here. It's a brand new look. It's a brand new Campus Edge. Yo, this, as you just saw on the big cool graphic, is the Campus Edge. I'm Michael Montgomery.
And I'm Chelsea Chilcott. Mike, I don't know if you have noticed, but something seems different around here.
Gee, could it be, I don't know, the set? Recall for me, if you will, what it looked like the last time we were here. A touch different, no?
True, but another thing that is different is the lack of tobacco on campus this semester.
Oh yeah, thought I noticed a marked improvement in breathability around here. It's not like the huge refinery next door would make that hard to spot.
Be that as it is, since August 1st, there has been no tobacco products on any of the Butler campuses. Reporter Tom Hayes wanted to find out just what the effect has been. Take it away, Tom.
Sure is a pleasant day here on the Butler campus. And I'm reporter Thomas Hayes, and I'm here to talk about the newly introduced smoking ban here on campus. Let's see what students have to think about it.
I've seen how much cleaner this place is. I feel like there's a positive effect because people, they don't rely on smoking a cigarette to relieve their stress after every single class or during a break during class. They can find new methods to relieve their stress instead of smoking cigarettes, so people are probably saving more money without having to go buy cigarettes multiple times throughout the day.
In certain classes where I have on certain days when I have 3 or 4 classes in a row and I don't have hardly any time to go out to my car and have a cigarette or anything like that, during some of my late classes where I haven't had a cigarette for 5 or 6 hours, you start to get a lot of anxiety and you start thinking about certain things, and it takes away from my classroom experience almost, just because I'm not, relaxed or in the zone, I guess.
I've been smoking off and on for 4 years or so. It's turned into a recreational thing over the time. Lots of my friends smoke, so past girlfriends did too. I don't encounter too much problems. I don't have as much as like my parents do. They've been smoking for a long time, so when they don't smoke, they get really irritated, but I don't think I run into too much problems with it.
I hear a lot of people complaining about it, but to be honest, I thought that it was really disgusting how I would see cigarette butts around campus in the grass, on the sidewalks. I seen some students who were giving a campus tour. They looked down and the parents were disgusted by how many cigarette butts were all over the floor. And so people were just not being responsible with it in my eyes.
I've been smoking for about 2 years now. And personally, it's actually kind of made me stop smoking. I usually smoke in my car or something, but because it's basically the only place I could be able to smoke, but now I don't have that benefit, but it smells nicer, so. This has been Thomas Hayes with the Campus Edge. Let's head back to the studio.
Awesome, Tom. Thank you. The variety of opinions and viewpoints surrounding this issue is staggering. That's the nature of a good debate. Something that most of us can come together on, though, is celebrating Patriots' Day. It's just one of those moments that no matter what your opinions are, we can come together as one. Butler is no stranger to this concept, as proved by the remembrance ceremony celebrated here on campus on 9/11. Caleb Kuster and his team were there to document the event and discover its origins. Take it away, Caleb.
September 11th, a day to remember, and Butler certainly hasn't forgotten. Today, in front of the Hubbard Center by the American flag, students, staff, faculty, veterans, and administration all gathered to commemorate this fateful day.
I was telling some folks afterwards that of all of the things that I've spoken at since I've been here, I haven't been nervous about any of them. I wasn't even nervous through my interview process when I spoke, but I was nervous this morning. And I think it's just because it's emotional, and that whole event was just so heartbreaking. I thought it was really neat that folks had put that together.
And the person behind it all? One Sergeant Kevin Pickrell from the Butler Department of Public Safety.
I'm a military veteran, 20 years of the United States Army. When I got out, I was approached by a friend and informed me about an organization that's called Bugles Across America. They have the philosophy that every veteran deserves live taps. In an email that I received about 3 weeks ago, Bugles Across America was asking for all the buglers across the nation and everything to come up with a ceremony. They were asking the buglers to play taps at the precise times that the two planes hit the towers, and Pennsylvania 93 going down and the Pentagon. And so I chose the Flight 93 going down for it being at 9:10 our time in the morning. So I geared everything around that time. Just before Carla Fisher introduced the president, she introduced the headliners and they sang the national anthem about 8:55 or so, and then Carla introduced the president, and then she did a few short remarks. We ended up with a moment of silence, and then I played taps.
Obviously, this was not a one-man job. Many people were involved, including one very special musical group.
You know, the headliners singing the national anthem this morning was just amazing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
I was working on a Saturday, and the headliners were outside the 1500 building and practicing the national anthem. And I loved the way that they sang it. I've known Valerie for most of the time I've been out here, and I asked if she and the headliners would like to sing the national anthem. So that became part of the plans. We have a new president, so I asked President Kroll if she would like to participate, and she had no hesitation, yes. And I've asked Carla Fisher if she would like to be part of it. The chief, James T. Bryan, new police chief here on campus, and Ben Mitchell, and he also happens to be the commander of the local VFW 1174 post. And I asked him if he would like to come and make some remarks, and he also brought the service flags.
In the end, everything went very smoothly, but not everything turned out as planned.
About 6 minutes before we were to start the ceremony, the stands for the service flags still hadn't shown up. I went to Valerie and asked if any headliners would like to hold the flags, the service flags, and we have 6. They quickly raised their hands, and so if you have a chance to watch the video, you'll see after the national anthem that they're kind of like getting the flag and scooting over behind the speakers and everything. So that was, but it worked out. Everything worked out really well.
It was a good thing, too, because the turnout was much more than anyone had anticipated.
It was fun from my perspective to be able to not only see the people in the chairs, but be able to look out and see, you know, students back on the steps and standing back beside buildings, and people just kind of scattered around.
And I was really, really pleased with the turnout. And you know, it was our first one, and I've been asked to head the next one too. So hopefully next year it's going to be bigger and have a little bit of help to make it bigger.
In the end, we can't forget the reason for the day.
It's easy for us to get caught up in our own little worlds and be, I think, sort of selfish and just not ungrateful, but we take for granted, I think, a lot of the things that we have. So I think any time that we have an opportunity to remember those kinds of events or celebrate the lives of people that really protect those freedoms, We need to do that.
Reporting on Patriots Day for the Campus Edge, I'm Caleb Kuster.
Wow, always a good reminder how important it is to remember. But student life can't be all about solemn memories. We gotta have some fun too. The Student Government Association sure gets it. They put together this year's Spirit Week in prep for the homecoming football game on September 21st. There were themed costume days all week long, including PJ Monday, Western Wednesday, Jersey Thursday, and even Trashy Tuesday. Things got a little crazy. There were also movie nights and an ice cream social. Everything was topped off that Saturday at halftime against the Highland Scotties. The homecoming candidates for Kings and Queens were introduced on the field, and the winners, Reese Rogers and Sadie Cope, were announced. And they thought it appropriate to mark the occasion with a selfie.
I can't think of a better way than with a selfie.
I don't think there is one.
Gotta love homecoming. Campus Edge reporters Noah Adcox and Mitch Toon discovered that it is all not as it seems in downtown El Dorado. What looks like just an untidy apartment actually has a surprising history.
Spoiler alert, there may be murder involved.
Could be. Where are you at, Noah?
On the corner of Main Street and Central Avenue in El Dorado County lies the gorgeous historic building that at one time housed the third bank ever established in El Dorado. This building was created in 1873 by Gordy and Galt to be the home of the First National Bank. To put the age of the building into perspective, in 1873 slavery had not yet been abolished in America, and Abraham Lincoln still walked the earth. The new bank was under the supervision of J.C. Frager and J.S. Danford. Sadly, the bank was not very successful and was sold to the father-son duo J.P. Gossard and Alvin Gossard. The Gossard duo attempted to run the business, but once again, it was not the success that the pair had hoped for, and soon shut down. It was said by locals at the time that the bank had not recovered from its bad condition when VP and Alvin made the purchase, and the duo were simply deceived with the purchase.
The Gossards were said to be good men of great character who lost everything they had with the downfall of the bank. It wasn't long after the bank failed that the man named T.O. Shin, who had a deposit in the bank, went to the home of VP Gossard, and whilst he was inside, Mr. Gossard was shot to death. It was the public belief that Mr. Shin had shot Mr. Gossard, but a jury disagreed. The building's owner has said he will attempt to have the building renewed to be a historical landmark for the town of El Dorado, but as the building stands, it is simply a beautiful reminder of a time long gone. The building is once again for sale, and the top floor is currently the residency of multiple Butler students. This is Mitchell Toon
and Noah Adcox
with the Campus Edge, signing off. Back to you.
I, for one, am glad it's an apartment now. We have enough gunplay around here as it is.
When we come back, we have a brand new segment for you. Our executive producer will be sitting down exclusively with a very influential new person here at Butler. Stick around to see who.
Brett was forced to change, becoming another statistic to the economy. But he knew he didn't have to be another number. Butler gave Brett the power to retrain as an individual. So, at 44, Brett found the power of personal attention, small class size, and an education at half the cost. For Brett, those are the sort of numbers that kept him from becoming one. Brett found a fresh start at 44. He discovered his power at Butler. How will power change you? With Butler, Cameron's Barbershop Quartet sang their way to 8 in the world while singing the praises of one powerful education. He's found the power to record 3 CDs and write more than 120 songs, including the one song inspired by his time at Butler, playing in the background now. All this personalized to around 14 in each class, and that's much better than sitting in the 23rd row of a 600-seat auditorium. Cameron found his passion in music. He discovered his power At Butler, how will power change you?
Hey, it's you again. Today we are going to try something new, something we hope will be a recurring part of the show. Each time we will take a different person and just talk to them for a while. We call it the Campus Edge interview segment. Creative, right? This week, executive producer Caleb Kuser is standing by with a very special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, the Campus Edge interview segment.
Yeah, that's right, Michael. I'm sitting here with Dr. Kimberly Kroll. She's the brand new president for Butler starting this fall semester, and we're just going to take some time and we're just going to get to know her a little bit. So, Dr. Kroll, just tell me a little bit about you.
Okay, be glad to. Born and raised in Nebraska. Grew up, went to the University of Nebraska and got my degrees there. Spent some time in Iowa when my husband was in vet school, and moved back to Nebraska when he got out of school to a small town south of North Platte, where we raised our kids. Worked in a small college in Nebraska for lots of years, 18 years or more, and then had an opportunity to go to Cloud County Community College in Concordia as the Vice President for Academic Affairs. And I was there for 8 years and then had the opportunity to apply for this job. And so I've been here, started the 1st of August. So.
Awesome. How did that feel? The minute that you get the call and it's just like...
Well, you know, I knew the search consultant had told me the evening that I knew the evening that the board was going to meet to discuss the candidates and to try and make their final decision. And so I knew, what evening they were meeting. And the search consultant had said, I'll call one way or the other, between 8 and 10 or something like that, you know. And so he said, I'll be in touch with you to let you know one way or the other. So I was trying to stay busy and do some of my work from, my other job. And so when the telephone rang and I saw the number, my heart was just beating, and I'm thinking, what is this going to be? Because I kept thinking, it's taken them too long to call, and, just kind of a nice introductory conversation, just a little bit, and I was just absolutely thrilled.
Now you're here. How do you think that you fit in, both like as a person in the culture, but also your leadership style?
Well, I really think as a person and as a culture, Butler to me is very welcoming and friendly and warm and open, and energized and just really focused on students and student success. And I'm very much a people person. I'm extroverted. I love to meet people and be around people, and so really culturally it feels like a really good fit to me because people are they're good people and friendly, and kind of just no nonsense. I mean, I'm not the type of person, I'm kind of the type of person that I'm going to treat you today just exactly the way that I would treat you if I saw you out on campus. I'm just kind of, I'm kind of who I am, friendly and open, and so I feel like I fit into the culture really well. I hope I do. I hope people feel that way.
Great. Do you foresee a lot of interaction between yourself and then the students on campus? Is that going to be a regular thing?
I really hope so, and I'm really looking for some ideas for ways to do that. A lot of my responsibility as the president is to be in the communities and be external and not necessarily be in classrooms, not necessarily, I don't have to do the vice president's jobs, those kinds of things. So, right. My job is pretty external, and so I really want to be out on campus. I want to be out in the communities, and I really would like to, kind of gather in some ideas about how to engage regularly with students. I don't know if it's once a month we do pizza with the president, or if we do kind of an open forum and once a month in the cafeteria over the lunch hour and whoever wants to come and visit. But I really want to look for ways to be engaged with students. I spent a lot of years in the classroom, spent 18 years in the classroom, and I loved teaching and I loved that interaction with students. And so I want to really try and make sure that I can protect some of that time to really be out and among students, because that's really what we're all about.
What do you think you're going to what do you look forward to most at this point through all that? What's going to be the best part?
Well, right now, the thing that's just so exciting to me is to be able to just learn. I have always loved learning, and so I feel like, my new job is just all about learning about what Butler's doing, learning about the culture, learning about the strategic plan and the direction that they've come from and where they're going. And so those are the things right now that are really, really exciting to me, is that whole learning process of trying to really understand what all, is happening within this college, because it's innovative and creative and really exciting.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Kroll.
You're welcome. Nice to meet you.
So great of you to come down here. I look forward to interacting with you a lot as we go forward.
Thank you.
So Michael, that'll be back to you.
Totally cool. Thanks so much, President Kroll, for joining us for our first of what is to be many interview segments. Don't forget to tune in again in 2 weeks to see who is next.
Speaking of up and coming, it looks like the Butler headliners are off to a great semester. Michael here recently caught up with their director, Valerie Mack, and learned all about their plans, including a trip to the state fair.
Since the beginning of the year, the headliners have been preparing for their big performance at the Kansas State Fair, singing such tunes as All the Things You Can Think and Over the Rainbow, preparing for their big imagination-themed performance. Well, on the 14th, they performed. With good weather conditions and a great crowd, it went off without a hitch.
This year was really exciting because it was the 100th anniversary of the State Fair. We actually had 12 numbers, and most show choirs that are actually competing start in the same time that we do, and it usually takes them until February, and then they start going out, and that's a 20-minute show. We had a 32-minute show, and we had 12 rehearsals, so 3 weeks of school, so it's pretty amazing. One that the students had is when they started singing the national anthem, and without saying anything, right when they started singing, like the whole entire audience at the State Fair stood up, and people automatically put hands on their hearts, and it was a very cool moment. I just had this idea about imagine, and I thought that'd be fun to imagine a better world and imagine. So I took lots of words like magic, fantasy, mystery, and we put that together. And so we have I Can Only Imagine, numbers that work in with the Imagine theme.
This was only the first of the performances of the headliners, and you'll be sure to see plenty of them throughout the year.
Well, one of the big things that we're getting ready for is the Butler Show Choir Festival, which is November 25th. It's the Monday before Thanksgiving. On the 25th, we'll have 350 high school students, and at this point, our guest clinician is a secret, and that person will come in and teach numbers and work with all of the high school students, and then we put on a big show that night. So it's really an amazing event. The headliners have 4 shows a year. We have 4 different themes, and the second one is always a Christmas theme. It's a smaller show, but we have a 30-minute set in October for our home show, and then we'll have a March show and our final May show.
Be sure to clear your calendars this year to make room for more of the Butler headliners' performances.
We'll be keeping an eye out for them, Mike. While you are waiting for a show, though, you could check out the on-campus Grizzly Adventures. Reporter-producer Tim Abrams is looking into it, and apparently you can get your PE credit by rock climbing a few hours a week. What's going on with that, Tim?
Grizzly Adventures, also known as the rock climbing class on the El Dorado campus, is one of the most popular classes available to Butler students. Recently, we sat down with the instructor of the class, as well as a student currently enrolled in the class, to find out what is Grizzly Adventures.
Grizzly Adventures is a challenge course, which we have 2 courses. The low course, which deals with team building, trust, problem solving, decision making, all your leadership skills, as well as the high course, which now you have all those same things in effect, and now we're going to add risk and put you 30 feet in the air.
A few different activities. There's a rope swing that you can use, that they let you use every once in a while. There is a zip line, again the continuous, and a giant pole you have to leap from for your final. Rock climbing is pretty self-explanatory. We go out every Monday and Wednesday and climb a giant wall, or what they call a continuous, which is really confusing but extremely fun.
It's a PE credit that you're allowed to come out here. I mean, it's great physical work. You're going to work on a lot of different strengths, plus learn how to rock climb as well. It gives you a different option within the PE department for your PE credit at Butler Community College. Also, with the team building, it get you to know a lot of different students. It gets you involved within us. There's a lot of individuals that come out here that, they may be afraid of heights. They may have that fear of taking a risk. Anytime in life, you're going to have to take a risk to get some things that you want to accomplish and goals set out there. So we teach a lot of goal setting as well out here, and I think those are the things the kids can take the most out of this class.
I walked in not knowing a thing about rock climbing, and the instructors do a very good job at teaching you and telling you what you need to do. If I had the opportunity to go again, I most definitely would, and I definitely really enjoy it. So.
This is the 9th year that we've taken these classes, and we've been able to expand our class from 1 now. We do 6 a year, so it gives them the opportunity to come out here and just have some fun. Enjoy being outdoors. We've got a great setting. We've got a great atmosphere here for it. We've got 9 different elements. We'll run them through. There's 8 different routes in Andover that we can take you through with our classes in Andover and at the Andover YMCA. So it's just a great opportunity for students to get out here and enjoy some things.
Grizzly Adventure class is available during every fall and spring semester here at Butler. I'm reporter Tim Abrams with the Campus Edge. Now back to you guys in the studio.
That was pretty cool, Tim. I think I know how I'm going to be spending my afternoon.
However you spend it, you'll just have to wait a touch longer. When we come back, you get to experience our first ever sports update, courtesy of the Butler Student Sports Media program. It's going to be rad.
Keep it here.
It's real simple. At Butler Community College, you take home more than a diploma. You're getting up close and personal with a college experience that fits your needs. It's powerful being a Grizzly. Be honest with your future. We know real education. At Butler Community College, we know our students make real sacrifices to turn their dreams into reality. But realizing your dreams shouldn't bankrupt your future. Get a powerful education at half the cost. Be honest with your future. Real value is quality education and hands-on training that gives you choices and transfers when you're ready, with real instructors who know you're not just a student ID. That's the real power of Butler Community College. Be honest with your future. Real power is getting a front row seat to the action-packed world of energizing your skills for a real career and learning from instructors who really know your name. We know you're ready to get real. Be honest with your future.
One of the biggest deals here at Butler is our athletics. We regularly are kicking butt and taking names. To bring you up to date with the latest, we go to our sports anchor, Nicole Fye. Nicole?
Hey, thanks, Chelsea. The now number 15 Lady Grizzly volleyball team traveled to Kansas City, Missouri on the 20th to play MCC Longview. This is after the team suffered a loss to number 1 Cali 3 days before that snapped their 6-game winning streak. The Grizzlies swept the Lakers in 3 sets to take their 12th win of the season. The Butler volleyball team rolled on to another 3-0 sweep. In football, at the BG Products Veteran Sports Complex on Saturday, September 21st, Butler lost at home for the first time in 5 years, 23-21. It was a very rough first half with the Grizzlies unable to score, trailing 10-0. Highland added early to their lead in the second half. Braden Peters from Highland ran for a 2-yard touchdown to make it a 17-0 lead for the Scotties. The Grizzlies finally responded with a 59-yard and 11-play drive. A 1-yard run made by sophomore Miles Thomas made it 70-7. Butler kept it going by promptly intercepting the ball for a 35-yard return by sophomore Tyler Hayes. 2 plays later, freshman Chris Carson ran it in from 2 yards out to make it 17-14 late in the third quarter. Butler would take advantage of another interception by Gabe Luna, Garden City, in the fourth quarter and score yet another touchdown to give Butler the first lead of the game with 2:24 left in the fourth quarter. Then Highland, with only 8 seconds left in the game, was able to sneak in and score the game-winning touchdown. The touchdown pass was only a 5-yard toss from freshman Brandon Berger into sophomore Desmond McGee. McGee caught it in the corner of the end zone. The Scotties' extra point was no good to make the final score 23-21. The formerly number 4 Butler Grizzlies dropped to number 12 after being stunned by the Highland Scotties. Butler now has a bye week in preparation to play at Garden City on October 5th. For Campus Edge Sports, I'm Nicole Fye. Back to you, Michael.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nicole. We'll have to do this again next episode.
We made it through. What an awesome show.
We talked all about the Patriots Day celebration, the Butler headliners, the no tobacco policy. We pretty much got it all.
If there's anything we missed, we'll be sure to have it next time. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a brand new episode.
And if you missed any of this once, you can catch it again each weekday at 11 or 6:30 on BCTV Channel 20. Or check it out on our brand new YouTube channel, Butler Radio and TV.
It's been a blast, and it can only get better from here.
Or, you know, we could really bomb in the next one.
Well, that's the nature of student productions.
Anyway, this is
the Campus Edge.
Yeah!